Tapi emang suaranya mendem ya.
All the crew, stand by. Lighting, stand by. Cameraman, stand by, and 3, 2, 1.
Datang di Politeknik Sahid Jakarta, salah satu kampus pariwisata terbaik di Jakarta.
Pendidikan tinggi vokasi berbasis industri yang unggul, berbudaya, religius, dan memiliki daya saing tingkat nasional dan internasional telah mengantarkan Politeknik Sahid menjadi trendsetter pendidikan tinggi vokasi di Indonesia.
Dengan metode pembelajaran blended learning, on campus, online, and on workplace menjadi pilihan metode pembelajaran di Politeknik Sahid.
Dan memiliki program double degree dengan negara Prancis, Jepang, Uzbekistan, dan Taiwan.
Serta memiliki program kerjasama dengan pemerintah Kota Payakumbuh, pemerintah Provinsi Sumatera Selatan, pemerintah Kabupaten Morotai, dan pemerintah Kabupaten Supiori.
All the crew, stand by. Lighting, stand by. Cameraman, stand by, and 3, 2, 1.
Om Swastiastu, Shalom, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. We are currently in a room that implements health protocols. Please allow us to remove our face mask. Attention please. International webinar on gastronomy will immediately begin. To audiences, please kindly mute your audio throughout the ceremony. Your cooperation is highly appreciated. Honorable invited guests, my name is Rina Kurniawati and my colleague Arvino Kausar Eka Putra, the Master of Ceremony of this webinar. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. From the virtual room, we would like to invite you to International Gastronomy Webinar, Building Gastronomy Tourism to Sustain Tourism and Creative Economy during the COVID-19 pandemic era. Practitioners and academicians' perspectives.
The Honorable Minister of Cooperative, Small and Medium Enterprises of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Teten Masduki, that is represented by Director of Marketing Service, Mr. Leonard Theo Sabrata, Director of Politeknik Sahid Jakarta, Ms. Neni Wahyuni, Bachelor of Economics, Magister Management, and the Management of Sahid Politeknik Jakarta. Politeknik Sahid Jakarta Representative, Doctoral Candidate Suci Sandi Wahyuni.
Indonesia Gastronomy Community Representative, Ms. Ria Musiawan. The U.S. Representative, Dr. Wijiono Yono Purnomo and Dr. Marcella Tigarsis. Malaysia Representative, Dr. Alice Monyard. South Korea Representative, Dr. Nimrod M. Carpio. Turkey Representative, Dr. Hussein Pamukcu.
Australia Representative, Dr. Hera Oktadiana, Certified Hospitality Educator. Uzbekistan Representative, Mr. Temur Mirzaev. India Representative, Dr. Anukreti Sharma. Dr. Asep Parantika as moderator of this webinar, and all invited guests of this webinar.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin this webinar, let us sing together the Indonesian and national anthem, Indonesia Raya.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us hear the Director of Sahid Politeknik Jakarta, Ms. Neni Wahyuni, Bachelor of Economics, Magister Management, to deliver the opening remarks. Yuk. Ladies and gentlemen, let us hear the Director of Sahid Politeknik Jakarta, Ms. Neni Wahyuni, Bachelor of Economics, Magister Management, to deliver the opening remarks.
Politeknik Gastronomy International webinar. First of all, we would like to express our highest appreciation to Mr. Teten Masduki Minister of Cooperatives and Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises, for taking the time to attend and deliver a keynote speech. We would also like to express our appreciation and gratitude for the support of practitioners and academicians in the gastronomy and culinary field who are present in this webinar. Mrs. Ria Musiawan as the President of Indonesia Gastronomy Community. Mr. Dr. Wijiono Yono Purnomo from Yono's Restaurant Albany, New York, USA. Mrs. Marcela Garces, PhD from Siena College in Laudenville, New York, USA. Mrs. Alice Moknat, PhD from Taylor's University, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Mr. Nimrod Karpio, PhD from Jeonju University, South Korea. Mr. Dr. Hussein Pamukcu from Afyon Kocatepe University, Turkey. Mrs. Hera Oktiana, PhD from James Cook University, Australia. Mr. Temur Mirzayev from Ministry of Tourism and Sport, Uzbekistan. Mr. Anukreti Sarma, PhD from University of Kota Rajasthan, India. We are proud to host the first international gastronomic webinar and delighted to receive tremendous support from various practitioners and academicians in the culinary and gastronomy field who will share their insight in this webinar. We have guest speakers from 7 countries participating in this webinar, and the total number more than 500 participants. Today's webinar topic is based on current issues facing tourism and as an effort to support tourism adaptation and resilience. The main topic for this webinar is building gastronomic tourism to sustain tourism and creative economic in the COVID-19 pandemic era. Gastronomy tourism, practitioners, and academician perspective. Gastronomy tourism has become a worldwide tourist attraction. As an archipelagic country, Indonesia has a huge gastronomic tourism potential with at least more than 3,000 kinds of traditional culinary with different characteristics. Realizing the potential that Indonesia has, since 2012, Sahid Politeknik Jakarta has established Gastronomy Study Center called ICGC. ICGC is a place to learn Indonesian gastronomy and globalize Indonesia food to the international world. One of the contributions provided by the ICGC is to revive traditional Indonesian food. In 2030, as many as more than 500 types of processed food made of tubers we are recorded by Indonesia World Record Museum. ICGC will be developed and continue to support Sahid Politeknik as one of the vocational-based universities. This is realized by establishing a culinary arts study program that is expected to create professionals and entrepreneurs in the development of gastronomy in Indonesia. With the COVID-19 pandemic, tourism is having a tough time, and it becomes a challenge for the culinary industry to develop. Therefore, we gather several academics and practitioners who are experts in the gastronomy tourism and micro, small, and medium enterprises to discuss this challenge and explore creative ideas in growing the potential of tourism development and creative economy and improving the quality of tourism in the COVID-19 pandemic era. Lastly, we would like to thank all parties for the cooperation and participation in this event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ms. Nani Wahyuni, for the opening remarks.
We would like to invite Director of Marketing Services, Ministry of Cooperatives, Small and Medium Enterprises of Indonesia, Mr. Leonard Teo Sabrata, To Mr. Leonard Teo Sabrata, the time is yours.
Coba. Halo, halo, tes, 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 halo.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard Teo Sabrata, for the speech.
As a token of appreciation, we would like to give a certificate to Mr. Leonard Teo Sabrata, the Director of Marketing Service of the Ministry of Cooperative, Small and Medium Enterprises, and also to take a picture together with the audiences.
Honorable invited guests, next is presentations from the panel guest speakers. Please kindly stay at the Zoom meeting. This session will be guided by Dr. Asep Parantika as the moderator. To Mr. Asep Parantika, the time is yours.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I would like to welcome to you to International Gastronomy Webinar, Building Gastronomic Tourism to Sustain Tourism and Creative Economy during the COVID-19 pandemic era. Practitioner and Academician Perspective, hosted by Politeknik Sahid Jakarta. My name is Asa Parantika, lecturer of Politeknik Sahid. It is an honor to be a moderator for today's session. Tourism is growing rapidly into an industry that contributes greatly to the economy. Tourist motivation to visit a different destination has an impact on the development of tourist attraction. Tourist destination offer various attractions to meet the needs of tourists. In 2020, the UNWTO issued a global report on food and tourism, which explained gastronomic tourism is an emerging phenomenon that is being developed as a new tourism product due inter alia. Over a third of tourist spending is devoted to the food. Therefore, the cuisine of the destination is an aspect of utmost importance in the quality of the holiday experience. So it is not surprising that UNWTO placed gastronomic tourism is one of the most dynamic segments in the global tourism. Unfortunately, culinary tourism is more popular than gastronomic tourism in Indonesia, although it has significant potential to be developed into main attraction, which can increase community participation, especially small and medium enterprise. However, the emergence of COVID-19 has made the tourism and small medium enterprise sector experiencing a difficult period. So it has become a big challenge for the culinary industry in its promotional and food safety effort and the integration of technology to prepare strong small medium enterprise in the pandemic era. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 10 speakers from 8 country representatives: Indonesia, United States, Malaysia, South Korea, Turkey, Australia, Uzbekistan, and India. It is an honor for us to have all of you in this webinar. The total number of participants of this webinar is more than 800, come from several countries. Ladies and gentlemen, the first speaker is Mrs. Ria Musiawan from Indonesian Gastronomy Association. Good evening, Mrs. Ria. How was your day? Thank you. She is gastronome and a food enthusiasm. She is also the disseminator of tea culture, especially for Indonesia. She was chosen as a chairman of Indonesian Gastronomy Community for 2020 to 2023. She is very active. Some activity related with gastronomy and other organizations such as Promotion Indonesian Tea as a part of gastronomy cultural hospitality, which is a special coverage of Indonesian gastronomy. In addition to coffee, Cabinet Secretary to Lions Club International, and she wrote an etiquette book, Small Things That Matter, in 2014. Mrs. Ria, you have 10 minutes to present your presentation with the title Indonesia Gastronomy Tourism Potential during the Corona pandemic. Time is yours. Thank you, Mrs. Ria. Thank you, Mrs. Ria, for your presentation. The highlight from you about gastronomy tourism are, first, Indonesia gastronomic tourism offer plenty opportunities to be developed. And second, we need to recognize the signature food of local destination and promote them as an icon. Before we end this session, we would like to give a certificate online. To you as a speaker. Thank you, Mrs. Ria. The next speaker is Mrs. Ria Octadiana, PhD, CHA, from James Cook University, Australia. Good evening, Ibu Ria. Ibu Hera, sorry. Almost midnight right now, isn't it? In Australia. How was your day? Let me read your short biography. Hera Octadiana earned her PhD from School of Hotel and Tourism Management, the Hong Kong Politeknik University. She also received Certified Hospitality Educator from the American Hotel and Lodging Education Institute. She has been academic member at this Bina Nusantara University, Bunda Mulia University, and Trisakti School of Tourism in Indonesia. She joined James Cook University, Australia, since 2017, now as an associate professor. Her research interests include tourism and hospitality education and tourist behavior, emerging markets, especially in the area of Muslim tourists. She had received several awards from her research and publication. The most recent was from Ministry of Research and Technology. Currently, she is on editorial board of Asia Pacific Journal of Tourism Research, International Journal of Tourism Cities, and some Indonesian journals. Mrs. Hera, you have 10 minutes to present your presentation with the title Experience a Destination Through Gastronomy Tourism. Thank you, Mrs. Ria, for your presentation. The highlight from you about gastronomic tourism are gastronomic tourism is sustained by the role of local tourists who dominate the market, particularly during the pandemic. And the second, the tourism industry can boost gastronomic tourism by matching the needs of different tourist typology. Before we end of this session, we would like to give you a certificate online. Thank you, Ibu Hera. Ladies and gentlemen, the third speaker is Dr. Wijono Yono Purnomo, the owner Yono Restaurant, Albany, New York, United States. Good morning, chef. What time is it in New York? I heard New York getting better to facing pandemic corona. Is it right? Thank you, chef. You have a long CV, but allow me to read in short version. Chef Yono, co-owner of the Yono Restaurant. He is a member of American Culinary Federation, National Restaurant Association, New York State Restaurant Association, Confrérie de la Chaîne de Rôtisserie Restaurant, and many more. He has expertly mastered the unique blending of exotic spices from the tropical countries and a dragon-mounted sambal, creating a unique and sophisticated, complex and layering cuisine. He has won numerous bronze, silver, and gold medals through the both national and international competition. Chef Yono has represented the United States both individually and as a captain of the three-member US team in the British Open Cookery Championship. Chef Yono was team manager, lead the 7-member New York State culinary team to London for Hotel Olympia, La Parade de Chef. Chef Yono, you have 10 minutes to present your presentation. Time is yours. Thank you, Chef, for your presentation. The highlight of your presentation are blah, 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 blah. We would like to give a certificate online. We would like to give you a certificate online as you as a presenter. Thank you very much, Chef. Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth speaker is Dr. Marcela T. Garces from Department of Modern Language and Classic, Siena College, New York, United States. Good morning, Dr. Garces. How are you? Thank you. I will read your biography in a short version. She was graduate from University of Minnesota 2010. Now she is associate professor of Spanish at Siena College near Albany, New York. Her broad area of research is contemporary Spanish culture studies, with particularly emphasis on Basque gastronomy and fashion studies. Most recently, he published an edited volume, Fashioning Spain, from Mantillas to Rosalia. Her article in the field of gastronomy were published in the Journal of Gastronomy and Tourism in 2021 and La Nueva Literatura Hispanica in 2019. She is a scriptwriter of the talk show Experience, The Secret Culinary Space of the Bus in 2017, a documentary film about bus gastronomy, which was screened on Iberia Airlines in spring 2018 on 25 transatlantic flights. Dr. Garces, you have 10 minutes. Dr. Garces, you have 10 minutes to present your presentation. Ini kenapa Elis? Hah? Garces? Kenapa ini Elis? Iya. Kenapa ini Elis Monak? Elis. Apa? Iya. Garces, iya. Enggak. Marcella nggak ada biografinya? Ada. Kenapa? Ada semua kok. Di grup Pak Niko. Di grup. Ketemu? Dari? Mulai dari? innovation and adaptation to the way we learn and think about food. We would like to give a certificate online to you. Thank you very much, Dr. Garces. Ladies and gentlemen, the fifth speakers, we have Dr. Elise Monard from School of Food Science and Gastronomy, Faculty of Science and Leisure Management, Taylor's University, Malaysia. Sapa bien. Glad to have you in this great event. Allow me to read your CV in a short version. Dr. Ellis joined Taylor University, Kuala Lumpur in 2014 after receiving her PhD in sociology from Université de Toulouse, CERTOP CNRS, Toulouse, France. She has led the fundamental research grant scheme from the Malaysian Ministry of Higher Education. Dr. Ellis work currently focused on tourism promotion of food heritage and on modernization of food and eating habits. Dr. Ellis, you have 10 minutes to present your presentation with the title Gastronomy, Tourism, a Food Studies Perspective. Time is yours. PPT-nya nanti gimana nih? Halo? Nggak ada PPT? Iya, maksudnya nggak latihan sekarang? Oh ya udah. Oke, kalau kayak gitu. Oke lah ya, apapun yang terjadi, terjadilah ya. Oke. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ellis, for your enlighten. Several points that I can conclude are blah, 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 blah. We would like to give you a certificate online. Thank you very much, Dr. Ellis. Ladies and gentlemen, now we're moving along to the next session. Please welcome Dr. Nimrod M. Karpio. Now moving along to the next session, please welcome Dr. Nimrod M. Karpio. From Hotel Management Department, Jeongju University, South Korea, He will be speaking to us on the new normal in the gastronomy sector in Republic of Korea, challenge and opportunity. Good afternoon, sir. What I should call you? Dr. Carpio, is it okay? Thank you. Allow me to read your CV, sir. Dr. Nimrod Mendoza Carpio is from the Philippines, are presently a faculty member of Jeongju University in the Republic of Korea. He earned his doctorate degree in business management, major in hotel and restaurant management in 2014, and took his master science in the hotel restaurant management in 2009 at the Philippines Women University. He also joined Oliveras College Tagaytay, Philippine Women's University, and Far Eastern University as assistant professor. Presently, he is a graduate school professor at Philippine Women's University. Aside from his many accomplishments, he was able to make several researches and publications. Now, time is yours, Dr. Nimrod. Itu Turki, kebanyakan. Nah, itu udah. Nah, sampai situ. Sampai situ ya. Thank you, Dr. Nimrod, for your presentation. Let me rewind some crucial points you mentioned in your presentation. First, the restaurant industry in Korea also practice common safety protocol strategy in the pandemic, like a social distance and food delivery. The second, the use of data is important the restaurant industry to make the consumer well informed about safety condition and to keep them stay safe. And the third, in the time of crisis, government plays an important role to support the restaurant industry. Before the end of the session, we would like to give you a certificate online. This is a token of appreciation from us to you as a great speaker today. Thank you very much, Dr. Nimrod. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Dr. Hussein Pamukchu as the seventh speaker from Tourism Faculty, Kocatepe University, Turkey. Good afternoon, Dr. Hussein. How are you? Before you start with your presentation, I read your short biography. Dr. Hussein Pamukchu received his bachelor degree from Mustafa Kemal University and his master degree from Afyon Kocatepe University and his doctorate from Sakarya University in 2017. He started his academic career at Kastamonu University. He started to work as a research assistant in 2013, as a doctor lecturer in 2018 in the Department of Tourist Management of the Faculty of Tourism at the University Kastamonu. As February 2021, he has continued his career at the Faculty of Tourism, University of Afyon, Kocatepe as associate professor. Now, time is yours, Mr. Hussein, to deliver your presentation. Terus sampai habis itu. Thank you, Dr. Hussein, for your presentation. Let me rewind some crucial points you mentioned in your presentation. First, gastronomic tourism is in its attraction that support tourism industry. Second, a rich history and culinary varieties are advantage for local tourism. And the last, it is important to preserve culinary as part of its culture and tradition to sustain tourism industry. Before we end of this session, we would like to give you a certificate online. Thank you very much, Dr. Hussein. Ladies and gentlemen, for the 8 speakers, we have Mr. Temur Mirzaev from Tourism and Sport Ministry, Uzbekistan. Good afternoon, sir. How are you? Allow me to read your short biography. Mau tunggu dulu? Ini CV-nya dia kan? Started working at the university, then continue as a translator, a tour guide in 2017, start work in the Uzbek Tourism National Company. Currently, the organization was upgraded into Ministry of Tourism and Sport. There he worked in Ziara Tourism Division, Tourism Diversification Department. Mr. Temur, please present your presentation with the title Culinary Tourism Attraction in the yours. Thank you, Mr. Temur, for your enlightenment. Several points that I can conclude are blah, 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 blah. We would like to give a certificate online. We would like to give a certificate online to you as a presenter. Thank you very much, Mr. Temur. Ladies and gentlemen, the 9 speakers, we have Dr. Anukrati Sarma from Department of Commerce and Management University of Kota, India. Good afternoon, Ms. Sarma. How are you? I'll read your short biography. Dr. Sarma is an associate in the Department of Commerce and Management University of Kota, India. 2015, she received a research award, the City Grants Commission. Her doctorate, he has interest area are tourism, tourism marketing, strategic management, and international business management. He edited several books on tourism under non-publishing. Dr. Sarma, please present the presentation with the title Food Tours and Walk in Promotion Destination. Thank you, Dr. Sarma, for your presentation. If I can conclude, several points are, it is important to explore new ways to introduce local food to tourists and food lovers. For example, food tours or food walk programs. And the second, the pandemic has taught us to be more responsible in managing tourism, to think beyond the tourism itself, and to go to hand in hand together to survive and thrive. We would like to give a certificate online to you as a presenter. Thank you very much, Dr. Anukrati Sarma. Ladies and gentlemen, now we have the last speakers is Mrs. Suci Sandiwani from Politeknik Sahid, Jakarta, Indonesia. Currently, she is a PhD candidate of Tourism Studies at Postgraduate School of Gadjah Mada University, Indonesia. As an academician and researcher, she actively doing research for tourism development, especially in Indonesia. Her interests such as gastronomy tourism, culinary tourism, gastronomic product innovation, tourist behavior, tourism marketing, and tourism development. She will present a presentation with the title How Tourists Consume Local Food in the Digital Era, an exploratory study of tourist typology in gastronomy tourism. Mrs. Suci, you have 10 minutes to present your presentation. Time is yours. Iya, tadi terakhir kan? Harusnya di terakhir, adanya di terakhir. Baru terakhir. Ya, ini kalau Bapak lihat di sini, lihat tuh di skrip saya tuh. How are you, Mrs. Suci? You have 10 minutes to deliver your presentation. Time is yours. Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Suci, for your presentation. If I can conclude, some crucial points are the pandemic and the revolution of the technology has sub tourist behavior. And the second, it is important for small and medium enterprise and the government to monitor changes in tourist behavior and to adapt to change through innovative and creative ways. Before we end of this session, we would like to give you a certificate online. Thank you very much, Dr. Suci. Dear all participants, International Gastronomy Webinar, thank you for your patience. I'm sure so many questions already received by the committee. Unfortunately, due to limited time, we already chosen several questions. Thank you for your understanding. The question number 1 is from Olivia to Ibu Ria Musiawan. The question is, how can we maintain our positioning, positivism in gastronomy field amid the pandemic that limit our mobility activities, particularly to offer our product to the customer? Please, Ibu Ria. Optimism. Sama aja sih. Oke ya, dijawab jamnya. Thank you, Ibu Ria. I hope Olivia heard your answer and you get the right answer. Bu Ria, tampilnya Bu Ria. Nah, sebelahnya ini Bu Ria. Ininya Bu Ria. Oke. Ya, benar. Thank you, Ibu Ria, for your answer. And the next question is come from Samuel, Indonesia, to Ibu Hera Oktadiana. Ibu Hera? Ibu Hera? Ibu Hera, the question is, when consumption are low, are there any alternative to keep our business stay productive and thrive? Thank you, Ibu Hera, for your answer. And I hope Samuel heard about your idea. The next question is come from Muhammad, Indonesia, to Dr. Nimrod. Dr. Nimrod? Dr. Nimrod? Yes. Dr. Nimrod, the question from Muhammad is, South Korea has done well in managing the pandemic with strict restriction. How do these strict restriction can be beneficial for gastronomy tourism? Nanti tolong dihapus, ada tulisan diberlakukan. Thank you, Dr. Nimrod, for your answer. We have several more questions. The question number, the next question is to Chef Yono from AB, Jakarta. Chef, the question is, before you become a great chef, who do you look up to as a mentor in culinary? How can we become a great chef like you? Thank you, chef, for your response and answer. I wish Abe will be a great chef like you. Thank you. And the next question is come from Anna, Jakarta, to Dr. Anukrati Sharma. Mrs. Anukrati, are you ready? Yeah. The question is, how do we start and make an interesting food tour program? Thank you for your answer. Okay, now already we almost passed the 9. Thank you so much to all the speakers. So this is the end of the session of our webinar today. And thank you to all for attending. All right, Mrs. Rina. All right, Mrs. Rina, back to you. Okay, thank you. Insya Allah semua lancar. Oke, berapa menit lagi kita? Udah ada yang masuk?